So last time, if you will remember, um, I rode across the divide in Colorado from Fort Collins all the way into a town called Silverthorne, and it was so beautiful. I decided to stay overnight and unloaded the bike and did try to do some exploring, but I realized that I still had the problem that I never actually fixed. It was the fan. I knew something was blowing the fuse, I just didn't know what. But this was the time I realized that it was the fan that was the problem. The fan didn't come on, so it was blowing a fuse. But luckily, I had enough fuses with me. I could get back to the bus. Got back to the bus, got everything loaded up and ready to roll. And then problem number two: the bus did not want to start. And I came to realize that this was a problem of altitude. Apparently, the engine was a little bit worn out too, but it would start and run, go across the mountains just fine. It just didn't want to sit and cool off. Apparently, at 10,000 feet or more. This is what I came to realize, not here but later, that it was an altitude problem, and most likely due to the worn condition of the engine. That, it's all new to me, but this was the first inkling. I really wanted to hit it with some ether. That's the way you start cold engines. Is you use a can of ether and spray it into the intake. But the problem with the Cummins 5.9 is it has what's known as a grid heater right on top of the engine, just before it goes into the engine. You can mix a very volatile mixture of starting fluid, spray it into the intake. The problem with that is the Cummins has a grid heater on top of the intake, and it's basically it basically turns everything very, very hot in there. And if you spray a volatile liquid like starting fluid on it, typically what you would get is an explosion, something like this. Okay, maybe not that dramatic, but certainly enough to do some damage to my brand new turbocharger or the intercooler or any of the structures on top of the engine. The engine probably would have been fine, but just everything would have exploded on top of the engine. Some very expensive stuff. So could not start it with ether. I know that you guys might, some of you guys are mechanics, might be able to chime in and tell me what I could do to bypass that, but I don't know. I didn't know at that time, and I don't know now, but maybe you guys know. I know I'm certain I could disconnect the grid heater, but rather than do all that, I finally got it started, and lucky me. But this was also the first time I realized that I had a problem of altitude. The bus ran fine once it was started, but it did not like to start above 10,000 feet. I didn't realize this at the time, but I started getting that pattern that from now on out, anytime the bus was cold, like if I camped overnight at 10,000 feet or more, it just didn't want to start in the morning. But this was the first time that I realized that, or started to think that was a possibility. Bottom line is I finally got it started, rolled on to Grand Junction to see if I could sort my motorcycle out, and it ran fine the whole time. Never had a problem with it again until I went up above 10,000 feet. So, but this was just the start of that journey. You may actually wonder why I'm posting a video like this. It may actually sound like I'm whining and complaining about my broken school bus, but I'm really not. I just want to make sure that everybody that's thinking about buying a Skoolie, that you have a realistic expectation. I know that there are a lot of buses out there that are in really good shape, and they perform really well for thousands of miles, maybe even hundreds of thousands of miles. I don't know. I know that I drove the dog poop out of mine, and maybe I did all the damage that was done to my bus, but others have had bad experiences too, and I just want to make sure that everybody that's thinking about this understands that it's not all sunshine and flowers along the way, and that the buses are expensive to repair, and diesels are expensive to repair. But I think pound for pound, dollar for dollar, what you get with a school bus is way beyond what the potential that you're going to get with an RV or anything, sticks and staples. $50,000 RV, used RV, compared to a school bus that you build yourself and all that, it just doesn't compare. So, just go in it with a realistic expectation that you're going to have some troubles. And I made another video about the most important thing you can do when buying a Skoolie is connect with other people like me that have built school buses, that you can ask questions, because that's exactly what I did in this circumstance. I got on Skoolie.net and started asking questions. So I would encourage you to do that as your first step. Instead of trying to get all your information from videos, go somewhere where there's a bunch of people that can talk plainly and honestly about school buses. So join me next time as I move west to the edge of Colorado into Grand Junction and repair my motorcycle temporarily with, believe it or not, a computer fan.